introduce him. He is coming to us from Well-Being Digital. They also go by WBD 101, and maybe our speaker can tell us why that is. He is Kow Ping, but he says, just call me Kow. I said I'm the only Mr. Work he knows, and he told me I'm probably the only cow that I've ever met, and he's right. Originally from Singapore. Now, I talked a little bit earlier how Alvin has a little bit of an unusual background for entrepreneurship, but when you look at Kow Ping, looks like he's been ready to do this and start this company and make a huge success of it. He has been an entrepreneur. I believe he founded his first company in 1997, if I'm not correct. So he's done the entrepreneur thing. He's done very well with the companies that he's founded, but he's also worked for the heavyweights in the health and technology sector. He's helped companies to grow their sales from zero up into to 45 million US dollars in a short period of time. So very much the right man to found the company, Well-Being Digital. He's going to come and tell us all about it. Kow, please, the floor is yours.
Hi, good evening. I guess the purpose why I'm standing here today, I'm going to deliver a couple of messages. I'm not doing hard sell about company, but rather that if you are in the medical business and if you want to tag onto the IoT sector, I think Hong Kong is the best. Why? Because if you think about if you're going to buy a blood pressure measuring device for mom or dad, design in Hong Kong, design in Shenzhen, which one would you buy? But having said that, we are very close to Shenzhen in such a way that when you have a healthcare IoT device, medical device idea, you can literally walk. We are based in Science Park, so we can actually walk to Shenzhen and get it done and have a prototype done in 2, 3, 4 weeks. If you're in Shanghai, if you're in Beijing, if you're in Singapore, if you're in Taipei, you can't do that. And of course, we all know Shenzhen is the biggest IoT capital of the world. So again, to refer back to what I just said, while Shenzhen is the biggest IoT capital of the world, Hong Kong, I would argue, is the best medical IoT sector of the world. So we should capitalize on that. The second message I'm going to deliver today is that you probably, some of you are probably here because you want to think about how we're going to make healthcare not only affordable but available 24/7. And of course, we all heard about devices that you put on your wrist and they Apple Watch. But today I'm going to talk about something different. I'm going to talk to you about the future is here. And there's not a typo in here. It's really here. So first of all, I said don't bother about making a little wristband that you can integrate to your system to measure your policy holders or measure your customers, because the watch is dead. The watch is dead because more and more people don't wear watches, especially the younger ones. I'm seeing some of you starting to hide your watch now. And of course, there's also an elephant in the room, which is Apple. And of course, Apple is not going to do anything cheap. They do things good, but they're not going to do anything cheap. So that's why I think the watch is dead. The other reason why the watch is dead is if you look at this banana here in Hong Kong, you will find that the banana has a heart rate. Okay, maybe I can try to play it again. Hopefully, let's try to do it again.
That's funny.
So the banana has a heart rate. So what I'm trying to tell you is that actually inaccuracy in electronic device will disallow you to use it for well-being, for healthcare, much less for medical application. And a lot of these devices use, for example, green light. If some of you happen to wear a wrist device, you flip it over in green. And with green light, apparently the melanin in your skin will absorb green light so that whatever lights you get back, signals you get back, are going to be absorbed and going to be inaccurate, for instance. That's why if you go to hospital, you see a pulse oximeter, they use infrared, like we do. They don't use green. The other reason, of course, the biggest difference between a wrist-based device and an ear-based device is that you cannot get any coaching. So one of the biggest complaints of a wrist-based device is that people says, okay, I saw my heart rate was 120. So what do I do next? And they go, okay. There's only that amount of words that you can squeeze onto that small piece of display. Whereas in the earphone, you can actually hear what to do next. Walk faster, slow down, stop, breathe, for instance. So that's why Hearable is the new wearable. The key thing being, again, 80% of us here, even though nobody's wearing earphone right now, but I can bet you with a bottle of wine also that 80% of us has an earphone in our bag. So at any time today, either on your way here or going back, I'm going to be able to measure you. And by measuring you, I can give you information and then advice again, what to do. And again, we talked about maybe just 3 years ago, if you see someone walking down the street with a piece of device on their ear, your reaction is going to be, oh my God, this poor guy is deaf. But these days, if you see someone with something in their ear, you go, wow, that's cool, right? So consumer behavior is changing. And again, if you look at the average consumer, whether from young or from old, they're gonna likely have a piece of device on them. Whether you call it a hearing aid, but hearing aid, it does not necessarily have to look like a hearing aid. It can actually look much better. So the reason why, again, we focus on the ear is because we look at the average electronic device you have on you, and we said, what if we can put a sensor on that? I know that people talk about smart glasses, talk about smart clothing, smart shoes, but I would argue that when was the last time you took a shoe and plug in a USB cable to charge your shoe, right? So we look at, oh, besides your phone, there's going to be an earphone. That's why we put sensor on there. In case Andrew's going to ask me about market size, yeah, I have that market size over there. Our first goal in our company, we want to enable 80% of earphone eventually to have the ability to sense. And this sensing ability will help you in the following ways. One is, of course, if you go for a run, it will help measure your heart rate and then tell you if you are overdoing it or not. And later I'll have a demo to Zoe. The other apparent usage for measuring it is when you're on a train, on a bus going home, when you just want to sit down and you want to listen to some music. Apparently, if you're very stressed, it shows in how the pattern of your heart rate. When you're stressed, there's this physiological signal called the interbeat interval. That the duration, there's the duration between the peak of each beat. It will stay very consistent. And if it does, it means you're actually very stressed. Because if it does, then this biomarker called HRP, which stands for heart rate variability, is very low, and therefore you're actually very stressed. And we all know that music helps you to de-stress. But the problem is we don't know which music helps you to de-stress. One of the local hospital here and us, we are trying to figure out, can we use this to help elderly dementia patients be less violent through the measurement of interbeat interval and through the delivering of proper music. As some of you may know, sometimes dementia patients can get very violent. So this is one of the areas that we're looking at. The other research that we are drafting a collaboration with, again, the local university apparently is, they wanted to measure the suicidal inclination of university students. Okay, again, university student apparently under stress from a lot of school work, so they tend to do something stupid. But again, through there, if you look at university students, most of them have an earphone there. So we want to again use the piece of device that they have on them to measure that accurately. A little bit of promo, if you allow me. So on the left-hand side shows some of the products in the market today from some of the famous brands that you can see are available already. You can buy it. On the bottom right-hand corner with the green bubble to the side, basically explains what are some of the biomarkers that we're able to track that demonstrate. Okay. Should I page back? I'm going to page back and then page front again, alright? So this is a little bit promo to explain. And then again, when you look at the video thing again, in case you are about to do your own startup, in case you want to do a device for patient monitoring, for example, then at least you know what we do, and then maybe that's where we can collaborate.
When you're exercising with active technology, you can always trust that you'll be an accurate opinion by now, right? And then with this generation of smart brain processors, you can make use of Bluetooth to have your dynamic tracked and displayed by as well for that. You may be wondering why it's important to measure one's heart rate. When exercising, it is essential to monitor your heart rate apply it here. By implementing our technology in earphones, people are able to assess the biodata in continuous, real-time, and non-invasive manner. What's even better is that our technology, using infrared instead of green light, has tested more than 1,000 cumulative miles with different ear shapes and skin colors, enabling anyone to gather useful data to improve their physical well-being through a wide range of exercises as shown in this video. Pushing the boundaries of what you can measure through earphones, well-being digital believes that the future is here.
So Zoe is this is an app that she has on her. It's actually an app from Kow, and she also has a earphone around her neck that measures the real-time heart rate. She is actually more relaxed now. It was like a 99, just the heartbeat was 99 just now, but now she's down to 87. But I'm sure if we cheer her on a little bit, she'll get excited and practice again. So this again is demonstrates that our technology is compatible with a lot of standard apps out there today that probably some of you use for running or exercising. But at the same time, as you saw on the video earlier, we are either capable or we are collaborating with different hospitals or university to measure other biomarkers. And in those aspects, if you are developing, whether it's a startup or whether it's a patient monitoring, and in that course you do your own apps, we can perhaps help you deliver additional information to you that only your user may understand. So this is basically, she's now gone down to 83. I'm sure her normal was like 75. So, okay, well, thank you.
All right, good job. Okay, there we go, and he's got a demo to close out the presentation. Once again, we do have some time for questions. I know this has been a product under development for some time, yes?
Yeah, we've done it for a couple of years.
And you've got an announcement. This is going to be your big live world premiere of your announcement about the funding round?
Yeah, yes. Hong Kong government, of course, and Hong Kong Science Park where we are based, encourages a lot of startups and stuff. And the amount of fund these days has actually increased as compared to a few years ago when we first started, right? So yeah, we are happy to say that we closed our A round, and that's one more step towards our goal.
Okay, congratulations. Fantastic. Questions from the audience. If we have a hand that wants to go up, if you've got some questions about the technology that's underlying these. Yep, right over here.
Okay.
So I just for in case people couldn't hear the live feed, if the other technologies are so inaccurate, why are people using it? Is it price point? Are they cheaper?
Okay. The gentleman mentioned specifically about green light. It's all about wavelengths. So green light apparently has a shorter wavelength. That means that it does not penetrate your skin too deep, whereas infrared goes in much deeper. Again, we're talking about non-invasive, so you're not going to feel hurt. As you can probably imagine, when you're having a cold weather, the blood vessels on the surface, closer to the surface of your skin, are going to contract. And so if you use this, for example, lights with shorter wavelength, you may not measure that person's heart rate accurately or at all. But you can imagine that the person will have heart rate. So by going deeper, we can get more accurate signals. But by going deeper, it involves more work. Right? And like Andrew said, we have been doing this for about, our first patent was 2008, so it was about 10 years ago. So we've been doing it for a while, and we've kind of perfected the ability to capture the signal despite using infrared. And infrared, by the way, is normally the light that's used in devices you see in hospital, like pulse oximeter, things like that.
Sounds good. Have we got any more questions out there?
I'm sure someone here is tired of corporate life and wants to do a startup.
Yeah.
Ask any question.
So, and how big is your team that you've got?
We are about 20 plus.
20 people in the company right now? Okay.
Science Park, Shenzhen.
Okay. Sounds good. And how did you, if I could, just from our business side, how do you get breakthroughs with some of these major manufacturers like JBL? I've got their products all over my house.
Well, we first started with explaining the virtues of the need of measuring, especially as you get older. You can't do that 60 minutes, 10 click anymore. But you want to exercise, and so we started doing that. Yeah. But we realized that price points for.
Yeah.
So there was a question earlier about how to get the cost down. There will be, by the end of this year, a couple of brands I know, because we're looking at it, that will have devices like this that at the same price as the ones you have today that doesn't have heart rate. So it's going to be, okay, this with heart rate, this without heart rate, the same price, or just, and so it make it easier for people to choose.
Okay. Sounds great. Last chance for questions. We're going to go to our next speaker. No, there we go. Thank you very much, Kow. That was great. Thank you very much. Cheers.